Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope the day has served you well. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years, and this is my channel, Fortune Cookies Tarot. We're going to do a little pick a card for you guys. I do this a little differently from other people. I have it broken down into 3 different sections. So we've got the abundance and money section. So if you're looking to increase your wealth, your status, your financial situation, this is the pile you're going to follow. This is for my spiritual practitioners and students. This is what you need to know to maximize your spirituality and advancement this week or over the next few days. And then with this lovely rose quartz, this is for my friends and lovers, people that are trying to bring more joy into their love life. So as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you would like to get an in-depth reading, you can schedule one with me at the link in my description of this video or on my website, fortunecookiestarot.com. So all questions can also be forwarded to fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com. If you do have any questions about readings, gift cards are available for the holidays, and we also have classes coming up soon for my budding tarot practitioners, and Fortune Cookies Tarot is looking to add to our team. So that's something exciting for 2024. So let's take a look at the cards for you guys. So we're going to start with our money and abundance. What do you need to know this week? So the Death card in reverse. Death card is about transitioning, making changes. Now, when I did the last pick a card, it did say don't make any fancy moves with your money at this time. We really are in a pause period worldwide. This isn't just in the United States where I am. This is worldwide. Everyone really needs to keep their money a little bit closer, a little bit closer watch on what they're spending on. Sock away a little bit for the future. Transitioning into different finances, different ways of handling your money is probably counterproductive at this point. So those of you that are looking to invest in crypto, if you want to diversify your portfolios, I would hold off for the remainder of the year. Again, I am not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and discuss with your own financial advisor. The clarifier cards of the Four of Coins also echoes that, and the Six of Pentacles, which is typically charity, frivolous spending, getting in there and having some fun with the money that you have. In reverse, that tells us that we got to hang on to that money as well. And then down here, this is practical investment. Just keep your thoughts in your head. With the first 3 cards, the ace, the 2, and the 3s, we always want to think about those as in our intellectual development. We're not physically acting on those. We're not moving into action on those. So we're still discussing what we need to do here. So follow that advice. Again, it's going to echo what happened last week. We are going to hang on to our money, not get crazy with it just yet. Don't go crazy spending. If you want to buy that $3,000 Christmas tree that has the LED lights on it that spells I love Shaq, please don't do it. Hang on to your money. I do love Shaq though. So moving into our spiritual students and those of us that are seeking to accelerate our connections with spirituality, our psychic abilities, our intuition, all of those things. The page of all of the pages are reflective of the ace cards. So aces are the birth of an idea, the beginning of an idea, the genesis of something new and exciting, specifically when they're upright. The pages are very similar to that, but there's a bit more depth to it, whereas the aces are a huge explosion of excitement, love, finances, creativity, all of those things. The pages have a bit more direction and agency over that explosion. So for this, what the Page of Cups is telling us is to embrace that spirituality and to really cherish that intimate, fancy connection that we have with the spirit world. So we really should be, anyone, and I say this all the time, I sound like Ratatouille, anyone can be psychic. Everyone is psychic. Women tend to be more intuitive. And I just saw a great interview with Scott Bruce, the body language expert, and he said women, because they are the fairer sex, they are not as strong as men. Men were able to male. This is a very binary conversation right now. Sorry, guys. Males are much stronger and able to defend themselves, whereas women had to rely on that intuition, that inkling that something was wrong, something was not right, to get themselves out of a situation. So, Lori Williams says that psychic ability is a superpower. In this case, and in this description, it absolutely is a superpower. So, that's Lori Williams of Intuitive Specialists, the course that I took for controlled remote viewing. So, going a little bit deeper, that Page of Cups. And we got the Seven of Swords there and the Nine of Cups in reverse. So going a little bit deeper, the King of Pentacles is well grounded. So we have to let go in order to become more psychic. And in the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations, he does bring you down to an energetic self. And you do have to kind of forget about your physical body. Your physical body will give you psychic clues. Again, citing the intuition of women, you will get, your hair will go up on the back of your neck, your stomach maybe you'll flip over when you meet someone. We need to let go of that physicality sometimes. We need to have a little bit of just a let go. It's like when you're floating out at ocean and you're hanging onto a rope tied to a boat that's 500 yards away from you, and you let go of that. If you let go for too long, you're going to be in the middle of nowhere. But if you let go just long enough, and you can feel the ocean and you feel the vastness of it, that, and keep the rope close enough that you can grab it again, that gives you a really good indication of where you exist in the energetic plane. The energetic plane is vast. It's limitless. And it gives us limitless possibilities in our meditations and in our manifestations. So just getting in tune with that limitless, it feels like a free fall sometimes. So you have to kind of reconcile that. You have to let your body feel that. You have to practice that. Some people have reservations. They feel like this is a not so good thing to do. They question whether, the validity of psychic ability and intuition and precognition, all of those things. They say, well, like, it's just a chance. It's just a chance that, I guessed it right. I guessed what was going on. Not necessarily. You have to really let go in order to suss out the stuff that you make up and the stuff that is actual real intuition. And I do delve into that in my class, figuring out the difference between your creative mind and your intuitive mind, because sometimes we can get a little blurry on those. So, and under the surface here, we are never going to get all of the answers. So those of us that want to practice psychic ability, want to practice tarot, scrying, any of the divination arts, any of the psychic arts, you're never going to get a marquee that says Bob's going to ask Sue to marry him on January 4th, 2025. You're never going to get that. The people that sit down and give these full bore, very, very detailed, specific dates, there's always free will that gets involved. So, somebody could make a left turn instead of a right turn and not meet the love of their life that you predicted. So we always have to keep in mind that the psychic world is fluid as well, just as much as our physical world. So, know that you're never going to have all the answers, but know that you can guide and you can give good answers to people when they need them. So, enough on that. We'll go into the love boat. So we've got the Five of Wands here. The Five of Wands is about getting together, being creative. So immediately I'm thinking of like singles mixers. It's kind of an old-fashioned idea. The singles mixers or speed dating, those kinds of things. And this really leans into that. Being around people, working your network. Before I married Greg, even years ago, I was always very warm to the idea of a matchmaker. I always thought that was a really good, interesting way of meeting someone. And I don't mean a matchmaker in the commercial sense where they have a database and they do your swiping for you. I mean a matchmaker like through a religious organization or a social organization where there are people that actually get to know the candidates. And there are services like this now, not to impugn anyone's services. There are services that do get to know their candidates, and they're very, very expensive. But if you go through a matchmaker, say at your temple or something like that, there are fees involved if it all works out. But you should donate something. But you tapping into those types of resources. And before I dated Gregopedia, my husband now, one of the things that I did, I talked with two of my guy friends, and I said, I really, no one's going to date me. I have two kids. I'm old. I'm, over 40. And they said, well, let's make a list and, see what you want. And I was like, okay, yeah, because this is what I want. I want like somebody to introduce me to someone that they know is not a psychopath, know is not crazy, know is not a player. And they looked at my list and they said, you're never dating again because no one's going to fit this bill. Well, Gregopedia did. There was only one thing he didn't have. He has no tattoos. So this is about tapping into those resources and those connections that you have. Think about it as like a LinkedIn kind of thing, not the apps that you guys are using. But so let's do this again. So walking away, I love the Eight of Cups. I love the Eight of Cups because it's a card that tells us it's okay to take a chance, but know that you're going to have to work for it. It's okay to walk. It's okay to endeavor for something different. In this sense, going back to our resources, we're not going away from the things that we know entirely. We're going back to our resources and stepping away from the old way of getting to know people, the old way of putting things together. And that, I think, is a very interesting aspect for people that maybe are swiping and meeting the representative, to quote Chris Rock, the representative on that app that they're going to be dating. If you talk with someone and say, hey, I've got this friend, I'd really like to put you together. I've done this. I've set people up. It will somehow work out better. You also have that common friend. You also have some common threads. That I think uncovers a lot of the unknowns and gets the variables out of there. I did ask a friend once about a guy that I dated. Is he okay? Is he a cool guy? And he was like, yeah, he's a great guy. And turned out he was not a great guy. So that was someone who really had their shadow self well hidden. But for the most part, I think that's an odd occasion that you'll get that, if you have someone who is genuine and actually hears you and listens to what you're saying, they're going to set you up with someone who is not a terrible person. This being very discerning about the resources and the people that we meet through those resources, always keeping a level head. The pandemic really put everybody into these very odd holes. So if you were single during the pandemic, it was a little bit frightening at that moment. You didn't have anybody to buddy up with. You didn't have anybody to have in your bubble, have in your sanitary bubble. It was really tough. And I think it has changed the way that we meet and date people. I mean, people are going out to bars and restaurants, but are they going with the veracity that, I saw in the 90s when I was coming up and in college? No, I don't think so. So I think that the landscape of dating has changed quite significantly. But tap into your resources, tap into your friends, ask your friends to set you up. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you've been unlucky in love for so long. Greg and I, we're going through a phase where a lot of our friends are getting divorced. I talked about on my show before. It's like the second phase of divorce. A lot of people got married, quickly got divorced shortly thereafter. And now this is the second wave of our friends that are splitting up. And it's very sad, but very exciting for those of our friends that are getting back on the market. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this pick a card. I hope it takes you through the week and gives you something to think about. As always, if you have any questions or if you'd like your own private reading, you can always schedule one with me through my website, fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com. Please comment down below. And if you aren't already subscribed, please do so. I'd love to have more subs on here. I'd love to hit 2,000 before 2024. So I'm pretty close. All right, all have a